So should you invest in gold? It's actually up to you. But there are a few factors you actually need to know. I actually invest in gold. I have about $3,500 invested in it. But I actually began to rethink it. And there's a couple of facts you need to know before you actually go ahead and just dump all of your money into something. You need to know about at least 6 things. Now, the reason why a lot of people are investing in gold is because gold is going up. But here's the problem. If you invest in something that no one wants later on down the line, it's going to be worthless. Now, there are a couple of things that you should be investing in, but let's look at gold. So gold right here, for example, gold is basically surpassed $1,800 an ounce. Now, I actually have some silver here. This is a silver ounce bar that I actually have, but we'll just pretend it's a gold bar right now. So that's a silver ounce bar that I actually have. Gold. 1 ounce. This right here is 1 ounce gold. 999.9% gold. 100% 1 ounce. Okay? $1,800. Just an example. Now, should you put your money into a precious metal like this, or should you put it into an ETF, which is an electronic trading fund you can find on the stock market right now? There's iGold, there's iSilver, there's Spider that actually has it. Should you put your money in gold? Well, let's find out what happens. Now, first of all, before you do, you need to know why and what are the factors. Because there are pros and there are cons. Now, don't mind anything up here. We were teaching another class on plants. But there are pros and cons of what you should put your money in gold. So let's actually look at the pro. The pro for gold right now is actually a plus. Gold was used by the U.S. government to actually provide America for a backup plan. We used gold before as a backup plan. The government used 2 different kinds of things. They used businesses and banks. Businesses and banks. The government asked these people to go to the civilians and buy their gold and silver, basically just buying the precious metals off of everyone. Once we bought the precious metals off of the people, we stored it and we put it into a place called Fort Knox. Fort Knox basically stored all the gold. They were taken to refineries in the U.S. and then they were shipped to Fort Knox by the military. The gold that they have at Fort Knox weighs about 27.5 pounds. So it looks something like this, but it's actually pretty heavy. All of it is 100% gold, 99.99%. Now, it's a good thing because it actually provides the U.S. government as a backup plan, and the price of gold would always go up. Now, you might actually know we actually used the gold in Fort Knox for hostage negotiations overseas. The military has been known to use it for weapons training, to trade weapons back and forth with Israel, Iraq, Afghanistan, all over. But what you need to know right now is, should you invest in gold? Here's the problem. 2 different ways of investment. The gold bar or the ETF, the electronic trading fund. This one is on the stock market, okay? This one you can hold in your hand anytime you want. So that's basically the gold right here. This is, I can actually hold this, okay? I actually have my gold ring right here. I can actually hold this. This right here would actually be on the stock market. You can go to Scottrade, E-Trade, Fidelity, ING, and actually buy this. But here's the thing. There's a very big difference when you buy gold from your hand and when you buy gold at the ETF. When you buy it at the ETF or buy it at the stock market, you pay the current price that is right now. But you also have to pay commission. Some commissions right now, let's say you go to Fidelity. Fidelity charges you they charge about $7, $8 to trade, to basically get the trade. You can buy 100 shares, doesn't matter, 1 trade. Some charge 4, some charge that much. So let's say let's say gold right now, you want to buy the gold ETF. Gold is at the $1,800. So this is what happens. In order to get that ETF, let's say you just wanted 1 share. It's going to cost you $1,800 plus the $7.95 or the $4 which they had. So you just spent to get 1 share ETF of gold. That's it. You just wanted 1 share. Now, if you want it in your hand, you're talking about a bit more money. To actually get a gold bar like this, that someone would actually pay for, and then you hand it to them, you're going to have to pay a lot more. In fact, 1/3 the price. So, this bar right here, what's 1/3 the price of this? I'd say roughly about $600. So you're going to end up paying about That much for a gold bar like this. Now, you're looking like, hey, that's a lot of money. Why would I want to pay for something like that? It costs less. It's true, but some people would rather have gold in their hand than in the stock market. As you can actually see, this is a lot cheaper, about 600 bucks cheaper. But here's the problem. The stock market crashes more than 3 times every year. And in an economic time like this, also when we have cyber terrorism, you want to make sure that if you put your money at a place, it's a place you trust and it's a place that's secure. You can put it in an ETF, but remember, it's not in your bank account, it's in someone else's. This right here is in your hand. You can hold this and trade it anytime you want. But remember, you paid this much for it. Now, that's my silver bar. Let's just use it as gold. Now, the pros and cons. The pros, the fact is gold is going up. Gold is going up right now. As the U.S. economy changes, as we get deeper and deeper into debt, the actual gold price changes. For example, in January this year, gold price went down $19 because over 240,000 jobs were added to the U.S. workforce or the U.S. labor force. Gold is a backup plan, that's it. If our economy goes back up to the top, gold itself is going to go down. In fact, gold itself will go back to $600 an ounce. Let's say we wipe out the U.S. debt tomorrow, just saying, and everyone gets their jobs back. There's no need to go to gold. Gold is just a backup plan. That's all it is, all right? So there are pros and cons. Practice, gold is going to go up. And this gold right here is actually expected to go up to $5,900 by December. But you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, why don't I just keep it? Well, here's the thing, you got to buy it. You got to pay this much for it and hope it goes up. The only reason why people pay this much for it or this much is that they know gold is going to go up. It goes up monthly. But if more jobs are created, gold will decrease in value. It just increases as a backup plan, that's it. Now, what are the cons? There are 3 very basic cons for this. 1, the government can confiscate your gold. Remember, it's not yours, it actually belongs to the government. About 50% of the gold in America right now recently belonged to the government. It actually belonged to them. The gold is not in Fort Knox anymore. It was used, it's flying all over the world. It's been confirmed. Many people are saying there's not really any gold in there. The con is the government can, and they do have the legal right to take your gold. However, they must offer you 1/3 of the price at its current market. As I was saying before, $1,800, you're going to get $600. This is something that is known. In fact, we've done this before. We had actually confiscated gold, saying it was illegal for people to own more than 5 ounces. So if you had more than 5 ounces of this that was gold, you were not allowed to own it. You had to give it to the U.S. government. Now, this was actually done. So the one thing, they can take your gold. Second thing, 2, a con. Gold will lose value. It happens all the time. It happens in the stock market. Gold goes up, it went down. It went up, it went down, then it went up, and then it went down. It's stock. Gold is mostly traded on the stock market. That's how you know. $1,800 an ounce, $1,800 a share. That's all it is. Now, there are positives and there are negatives. If you want to invest in it, that's great, but you need to know how. Buy the ETF. However, there's a con. Stock market may collapse and you may lose your money. Or better yet, it just may go down $600. You go back to this. The government will always revolve to 1/3 the price. Now, gold will go up and it will go down. Let's say you paid $1,800 for this bar. And November we fixed the economy, it's only worth $600. You just lost so much money. $600? That's a lot of money. And let's say you didn't just have 1 bar, let's say you had pounds of it. You just lost it. Now there's a third thing you have to remember about this. 1, if you have gold in your hand, you have to keep it secure. Okay? You have to put it in a bank, you have to put it somewhere where you can actually get it when it's needed. But, what do you do when you have gold in your hand? It's worth a little less because people need to make money off of it. When I bought my gold ring, I went to the jeweler and it weighed about 3.7 grams. Okay? 3.7 grams. A gram right now is about 61 bucks, so you times that by almost about 4 grams. I had to pay him extra for the gold. Also, I had to pay to get it resized. Right now, it's worth about 200 bucks, but in the end, it was about 220 because it cost 20 bucks to get it resized. So it's a pretty good price. Also, there are diamonds on this one. But here's the problem. You need to find a way to pay for gold at a cheap price right now. Silver is a great buy, gold is a great buy, but there's also a thing. Remember, if you want to pay for gold, it's better to get the ETF. If you have the money, you can get it in your hand. It's a pro, the price is going to go up, the government knows it, but the government can take your gold, and gold may go down if the economy strengthens. This is what you need to know. If it strengthens, it's better, there's no need for it. Gold will just go back to the way it is, and millions of people will lose their money just because they bought gold and the price went down. Gold is going to go up, but the fact is, if you're buying gold right now, you have to keep it secure. So that's actually what you need to know for gold. Also, there are many pros, there are many cons of it. The government does have a legal right to take your gold. It is considered a U.S. asset, and it's still considered America's backup plan. We still have gold. The government's still collecting gold. Now, what you don't know right now is I'm going to explain to you. I'm actually doing a business plan for a jeweler right now. Doing a financial business plan. They want to go to the bank. They want to get another loan. They defaulted on the last one. What you need to know is the government's using two things. They're using banks and they're going to use businesses. And they want the businesses and the refineries like jewelries to buy your gold. The government takes that gold. They take it to the refineries, they melt it down, they put it into bars, just like this, just like in Fort Knox. They put it into bars and they keep it as a backup plan. Gold is America's backup plan, not yours. Now you got to understand something. Take, for example, a millionaire businessman. Take a man who's making $1 million a year and he brings in $500,000 in business every month. And take a regular individual who's only making $24,000 a year. And the government says, we got to bail out a group of people. Who do we bail out? Does the government bail out the little guy, or do they bail out the big guys? Well, here's the problem. This person right here is working for this person. If you bail her out, she could just find another job. Okay? If you bail them out, well, they'll be happy. They can just keep going on with business. The fact is, who do you bail out? Should you worry about the little guy or worry about the top guys? You worry about the top guys because the top guys create businesses. The top guys in the corporation, they make the rules, they make everything happen, they do the work behind the scenes, and sometimes they're the best at it. All right? So that's what you should do and how you should actually invest in gold.